Welcome back to the City Palms podcast. How you doing? Cracking
Pretty good.
Truly. What the fuck is that?
You saw... No comment. My boss makes fun of me too, bro.
Yeah, but why are you drinking that?
I like it.
You read the contents in it?
No.
Nah. You just drinking it?
Yeah,
Fuck it, right?
what are you
Yeah,
talking
fuck it.
about? I thought you were calling me a bitch for drinking a seltzer.
Nah. I just don't like, I don't know. I read a White Claw, like, when that was the phase. And it was just like alcohol. And I was like, this need to specify if I'm gonna be drinking that. So,
Too vague for you?
Yeah, like what? It
Nah,
could be
this
rubbing
one-
alcohol, fuck you mean.
Nah, this one says flavored carbonated water, alcohol, natural flavors, cane sugar, citric acid.
Oh, yeah, see, they throw it in there. It's like, yeah, alcohol.
So we're good.
No, it's the same shit as White Claw. They just say alcohol.
What should I be drinking?
Real shit, like, beer.
Nah.
Yingling.
The only... I don't fuck
Drink
with
a
beer.
Yuengling.
I don't mess with beer.
Oh, okay. Drink some wine.
I have wine in there. I could have
There
that.
you go.
But
There you go.
whatever. We're in Nashville, though, dude.
Oh, nice.
You
Look
see
at
that?
Look at that fucking mosquito, dude. We were in Nashville. It was nice.
That was your birthday weekend, or birthday vacation, bro. How was it? I never even asked you yet. How was your overall experience of Nashville?
It was
Fuck
fire.
this mosquito, dude.
It's a big one.
We'll get it.
Nice
Just keep
big one.
talking.
No, it was good. Nah, for real, it was good.
What did you think of that? Because you haven't been around like music venues and stuff around here a whole lot. But how did you feel like walking up the strip of downtown Nashville compared to around here?
Oh, from what we saw, dude, I like our scene better.
No way. Why's that?
Yeah.
Elaborate.
They were too like bootin' scootin' like for me. You know what I mean?
Bootin'
Like
scootin'.
get at it for real. And then I got kicked out too for dancing. Feels like every club I was in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
So
any
I'm like,
venue would kick you out for
for
dancing.
for the windmill.
You did a backflip. You did the windmill. You hit a lady. You threw your jacket.
She
you
was
got up on
walking
a
in
table.
the dance floor.
She was going to the exit, and you just whipped it.
Trying to windmill, bro. Trying to windmill. Me and Jack, dude. Me and Jack Daniels.
They could have like
We don't
thrown
do
you
it.
out. With the second you started dancing like that, they could have just picked you up and just like threw you.
I know. Finessed it though, dude. I don't know if I can talk about it, but when I punch that hole in the wall.
Oh, that was a good. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for a second. No. There's no way they're listening to this. So I'll keep it vague.
No, I'll keep it vague, motherfucker.
You keep
a
it
hole
vague.
got punched in the Airbnb.
Slapped.
And I had to wake up. I woke up in the Home Depot. Went to Home Depot in Nashville. Got everything I needed to fix it. Fixed that drywall.
How much did you spend? Like $75?
$75. Patched it. Painted it. It looked fire. And then Brian, like, we returned all the stuff. And
I swore to him. I'm like, bro, most stores have like a 90-day return policy with a receipt. So even if you use the shit, you can still, it's still like perfectly good tool. You just used it one time.
Yeah.
So we returned every bit, and then you and Bree kept trying to like, well, we can't return this. Like, you used this. We can't. There's drywall mud all over. We can't return that. And I was like, yes, we can, and I did. We got every penny back.
Crazy. That paint thing. We're like, well, no, there's one missing. You're like, yeah, no, we can return it.
We're good. We're good.
So
We
that
finessed
was
it though.
cool. That was
Also,
nice.
lots of City Palms podcast stuff popping up around Nashville.
Yeah, we tagged a lot of places around there. Yeah, we went crazy.
You'll be seeing
with
our
it.
business cards, and then
We were giving them out to performers. I wonder if we'll ever get, like,
we'll see.
hit up.
Maybe we'll have a touring guest in here rolling through Fort Myers, Florida, and on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Who knows?
But anyways, we
Let's
got a
get
big
to
guest
it.
today.
We got a big guest, a weighted guest for us.
Since the beginning, really. Like, I would say, like, some of the first, like, names that we were like, well, we gotta have him. Well, we gotta have him. We gotta have her.
Facts.
Some of these
Yeah.
things just haven't, like,
Facts.
lined up properly. But today's the day.
I'll let you get to it while I switch.
Yeah, we'll switch
over
seats
there.
and we'll welcome in Danny, and you can intro it.
I said I'll let you get to it. All right, well, we're welcoming.
Come on in. And then, just like a fist away from the microphone, you can see, like, do you want to wear the headphones?
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, that way you can hear, like, with my voice close like this. If you can lean back and it'll pick up your voice, but it's just much, much quieter. Like,
For sure.
yeah, listen
This
to that.
good?
Listen to this. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. I
Yeah.
didn't even see. I didn't even
I don't
catch that.
I'm not. It's just not my thing. That's all I'm saying. You saw me drink that bottle of Hennessy.
I did.
I downed that shit with zero
You're on
chaser.
some gangster shit that night, dude. You're like, fuck it.
Listening to Fort Myers music too. How about that?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How are you doing, dude?
Good, man. I'm glad to finally be here.
Do you live nearby here? How was the drive?
It was really quick. It
Okay,
was
good.
Like 2 minutes.
I figured you were nearby.
2 or 3 minutes. Yeah.
This is Kidd Kwest we've got today for episode 48.
Sir.
Let's jump right into it, bro.
Let's jump.
Start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. So you're from here? You live?
Yeah, man. 6th generation Estero. Born and raised. Yeah, so I'm from here, man.
That means he's a Croatian.
Yeah, my
No
my
way.
family knew them. I mean, they're celibate, so I don't think I could be related to them. But yeah, they're gone because they were celibate.
Facts.
No, that's crazy though. Yeah.
There's a lot to get into.
There is a lot. And
Yeah,
where do
man.
we begin?
I say we just go chronologically. Like, where music is like the main.
Music.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
music is where it started, and I want to know
Yes.
like kind of your first paths of like trickling onto the scene and like getting your music career started.
Shit, man. I never thought I would make music when I was a kid, to be honest. Like, I always loved music, but I never played instruments. I didn't really I would sing like how everyone sings, but I never was thought I would be a singer or anything. And but I always loved hip hop, and then just my friends honestly kind of like forced me to do it, because like some of my friends were trying to rap, and this was like 2010. Yeah, and I was like, for a long time I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'll support y'all, do whatever, but I'm not gonna rap. You know what I mean? But eventually they got me to do it, and then I just fell in love with it. And but as far as getting into the scene, like, I feel like that didn't really happen for me until like maybe like 2012 is when I started going to local shows, and then like maybe like 2013 is when I was like performing at local shows. So
Okay.
so yeah, man, like 7. I would say like at least 7 years in the scene for sure.
Who were some of those people? Would we know of them? There's the handful of people that got you into it.
Yeah, the very first local show I ever went to, I think I already said this in the Curie interview, but it was Andre the Saint, and it was in the Edison Mall, which I thought was just so crazy at the time. Actually, I think that may have even been 2011 or 2012, but yeah, it was in this place called Agro. And yeah.
With the skate shop.
Yeah. It was in there. It was just like it was in there, and he was rapping, and I was like, yo, this is fucking crazy, and he was like really good, and like at the time, like it was only like Plies still and shit, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know of any other local rappers, so it was just mind blown, you know what I mean? And then and I would just go to local shows for a while and just like not tell people I was also like rapping on the side, because I was still so new to it, but yeah.
Damn. So when did like momentum shift happen? Was that way after the fact, or like years after?
It's funny. I recorded the first verse for that in 2013, which is so crazy, because I was just talking to my boy Bashida last night about it. I was like, bro, that song's gonna be 7 years old. I was like, that's fucking crazy. I was like, this is insane. Like, because I could still perform that at shows and it goes crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, damn, a song that I made 7 years ago, like, still goes crazy. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, I dropped it in 2014. Yeah.
So, and how did that even happen? Because like that was like my first song that I heard. That was from, like,
I remember, bro. It
like,
was crazy, because that was like kind of in a weird way a big moment for me. This is gonna be crazy, but when you posted, it was just like a picture of you, but you used one of my lyrics as the caption, and like people were sending it to me like, yo, this kid is using your, and I didn't know you at the time. And they're like, this kid is like using your lyrics. Like, I was like, yo, that's fucking fire. And then I started following you, I think, and like, yeah, bro. So that's crazy that like, because then when I saw you doing the podcast, I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's crazy. You know what else is crazy? Momentum Shift dropped as part of a project called City of Palms.
What?
That I put together. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it was like I just hit up a bunch of different local rappers and just told them send me a fire song they haven't dropped, and then we just all put them together as like a project. So then like everyone would kind of like share it, and everyone would like. It was a cool idea, but
I remember that actually.
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, for
Hell
sure.
Fuck yeah. Well, it is good to finally have you on, dude. It's been a minute then. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Let me see. What else can we get into?
So then when did Deadlink Clique start?
Deadlink Clique started
The origins of that.
officially. It officially was announced in 2017, but we were already on flyers as Deadlink Clique in 2016. And you know, DJ Dre and OG Baby, you know, I've been plotting making a group with them since even earlier than that. You know, we just didn't have a name. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So, did you first start doing live shows and performances like with them, or because I know you've done like a lot of shit out of state.
I started off entirely solo. Like, I wouldn't say entirely solo because like I was in this little collective called GMS that was running around San Carlos, you know. But you probably know all of us. But you know, as far as the shows went, it was pretty much just me.
I'm sorry,
We
this
fucking
guy's
got
like,
it though. We
yeah.
got it.
Fuck.
That was live.
Assassination, dude.
Fuck. So what was your first performance? Was that around here or?
Shit, dude. Shout out Eric Day. It was with Eric Day, and it was at damn. Where the fuck is that place called? It's the fucking Fields in Harlem Heights. The like park or whatever. Kelly Fields. It's called fucking Kelly Fields. It was on top of a picnic table there.
Yeah.
With Eric Day.
where it
Yeah,
started.
shit, man. Yeah.
So how did it go to performing in like fucking Texas and shit?
Just not giving up, man.
Fuck,
Like, just
dude.
not giving up. Like that's the other thing, man. It's like I said, it's like I didn't start off thinking like I'll be a rapper when I was a kid. Like when my friends convinced me, I don't think I mentioned this, my bad. But when my friends convinced me, I was like a freshman in high school. So prior to that, I had like zero aspirations to be a rapper. It's like as much as I loved hip hop, you know what I mean. But like, I didn't think I'd be a rapper. But you know, and I started off so shitty, and it's okay because no one starts off amazing. But
Yeah.
I just never gave up. You know what I mean? And like, you know, it ends up you can perform at Rolling Loud. You can perform at South by Southwest in Texas. You know, you can. You know what I mean? You know, if you don't give up.
Yeah.
If you give up, it's of course it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
what was there a moment that was kind of like as you were grinding? Was there a moment that you kind of realized like maybe this is the route, or like when you finally decided like, you know, I am a rapper. This is the route that I'm taking, and I'm never gonna give up. Was there a moment that happened?
that's a good question. It's funny because like I said, I was always really into hip hop, and I took it like very serious. So as shitty as I was when I first started, I still took it very serious. You know what I mean? Even if you know, I would have songs where like I'm flagging. You know what I mean? Like I would still take it serious. But so it just like I don't know. It's like when I started, I just knew it. I had to take it there. I just couldn't stop until I like took it there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just knew. Like I don't know. And I hated school. And I was kind of like, when I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be an actor. That's what was funny. But around like high school and shit, I didn't want to be in drama and shit. And like, so, you know, so I was giving up on that shit. So it was just like, I had to be a rapper. Just like no plan B. Like, just.
You haven't given up either. Like
Nah,
you know,
man.
like your social media
That's
presence,
the
you know,
thing,
consistently
That's
through
the
those
thing.
7
Nah,
years.
bro.
Hell yeah.
I'm out here, man. Stay out here.
What was your first tour then? Was that solo? Did you do that solo?
What's that?
Performing abroad, like at tours or whatever.
First time
that with
performing. First time performing abroad, or not abroad, but in a different state, out of
Yeah.
state. Well, cause I never performed fucking out of the country. I wish, man. Coming soon, but
Coming soon.
first out of state show was in New Jersey, and that was with OG Baby. And I'm pretty sure we were on the flyer as Kidd Kwest and OG Baby, but I was wearing a Deadlink shirt, like a prototype. Like it was actually the long sleeve with the red ring design.
I like that one.
Yeah. It was the very first one of that, and I was rocking it that night. So yeah, Deadlink was already a thing, and that was 2016. But yeah, and then the first tour was just a Florida tour, but it was with Key, but that was with Deadlink Clique. That was like as Deadlink Clique.
Dope. So how did that happen? How did performing a show in New Jersey with OG Baby happen?
That one actually, we just happened to know the right people. Like his people knew some of Dash's people, and it was a show with Dash, who's like an artist out in New Jersey.
Damn, hell yeah.
Yeah. So that was super fire. Yeah.
So who as a kid, whenever you your appreciation of hip hop through the years before you like wanted to be a rapper and all that, who were some of your like favorites that you listened to?
Bro, everybody, bro. Like everybody who was a rapper, I listened to them. Like, I don't know. I mean, really, it was Outkast. Outkast was the first rap group or rappers that I like really, really gravitated towards, and it's still my favorite. And yeah, man. But bro, like I feel like it'd be easier to say rappers I've never listened to.
Well,
I feel like that list is shorter.
Let's hear
Actually, I don't know, because I've listened to fucking everyone.
So because I don't delve into the underground like scene as much as you do, but I would wonder.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I may be falling off a little bit. Like, I don't know. I'm getting old, man. I don't know like a lot of these little kids popping up or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like all the rappers who were a rapper before I was a rapper, you know what I mean? Like the OGs, I checked them out at least. Like, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Tribe Called Quest, Gangstar, 8 Ball MJG, Goody Mob, the whole Dungeon family, UGK, Devin the Dude. Who else I really fuck with as a kid? Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Slick Rick is so gas. So gas. Fuck, man. Nas. Bro, everyone, bro. Fucking everyone.
Yeah, that's
bro.
already a heavy list.
Ludacris, T.I., Lil Wayne, Kanye West. Did I say all them? I feel like that's almost one without saying for our generation.
Yeah. See, and I feel like when I got into hip hop, like the dude who kind of like welcomed me into like what albums I should listen to and like who I should like be like to raise my, he called it hip hop IQ. Like there's certain things you need to know about like hip hop in order to kind of understand the culture.
Sure.
And I feel like your hip hop IQ is like because you listen to everyone.
Yeah,
so
man.
I would wonder because like my favorite rapper is Logic.
Word.
But I would wonder what some of your opinions are. Well, because I know there's people don't have high opinions of him, and I like him personally, just how he I enjoy his lyricism and stuff like that. But we've had people on who do not think highly of Logic, and I would want to know what your opinion of Logic is, knowing the things that you know. And you can say anything. I just said he's my favorite, but like, be honest.
I feel like with kind of the stigma that he has, this is gonna sound like I'm trying to shit on him, but I haven't really listened to him. Like I don't really know. I'm not into Logic, but I wouldn't say I dislike Logic. I checked him out a little bit. He had a song, I want to say like 2013, with like Gumby was in the video.
Yeah, that's
And he like shouted out Mac Miller and Kid Cudi. What was that song called? You know what I'm talking about? It was like one of his first really big ones.
You probably know. What
That was
called?
cool. I liked that, but I haven't. That was like that Piff era when I checked out Logic, but I haven't kept up with him since.
And see what I hear a lot, because back then, like, he dropped fire music. He was like very like impressive lyrically, and then like when I was introduced to him when he released Under Pressure, which I still consider that like one of his like best albums. And then the opinion a lot of people has is that he kind of like cash grabbed from then on. Like he was just kind of like catering to like the people and just like making what would make money and stuff like that.
True.
Which I don't fully agree with, but I understand that point of view. You know what I mean?
And Under Pressure wasn't
what, a cash grab?
Yeah. Like the people who were saying the following stuff was a cash grab, they liked Under Pressure.
I think I
and
think
they feel like he changed after that.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Because I mean, you do see a distinct difference between like mixtape Logic and like his
Was
original.
Under Pressure his like debut album?
I think
Like
so.
album?
I think so. Was it, Kyle? Because I think he just had mixtapes before that, and then his
right.
first album was Under Pressure, I believe. But
True.
But yeah, I'll shut up about Logic.
But yeah, man, I never really listened to him, so I mean, shout out Logic. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, and I feel like you're the type of person that you can see.
And you know what, man? There's something to be said about, like I said, I'm not into Logic, but he clearly has a loyal fan base, you know, like the people that like Logic love Logic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not just like, oh yeah, Logic, he's good, like, you know, people would say about like whoever, or, you know what I mean? It's like if you like Logic, you love Logic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's polarizing too. There's something to be said about that.
Yeah, and some of his lyrics are cheesy, and like I could see from like a hardcore hip hop standpoint, like he is kind of cheesy with his songs and stuff like that. But I feel like it's just him speaking his mind and just like doing what he wants to do and not being a cash grab, in my opinion. But also another person is because I'm just saying this because I have friends who are like don't understand the genius of it. But Lil Wayne is another person who like some people kind of, including me, like when I was a little kid, I used to see it as like just like I would like kind of like trash on Lil Wayne, but now knowing what I know and like listening to hip hop the way I listen to it now, hearing his music, I hear the lyrics and I'm like, fucking GOAT, dude. Yeah. And can you explain to the fucking people what it is that's so genius about Lil Wayne as an artist?
Dude, like I don't have heroes, but if I did, Lil Wayne would be one of them. You know what I mean? Like for real.
Yeah.
Like I remember just like I don't know because like, shit, man. Wayne is just cool as fuck, bro. Like Wayne, like I feel like even still, Wayne is the image of hip hop. Like it's so funny because like, you know, we have people like Logic who's biracial and like kind of like, you know, white passing, you know, for the most part, and like, you know, we have tons of, you know, all sorts of rappers, you know what I mean? But shit, my bad. Shit, I forgot where I was going. My bad.
You were talking about Lil Wayne and
oh shit, man. But Wayne, bro, like Wayne, people still look at me crazy, even though we have even though we have all these rappers, all these that look like whatever. People still look at me crazy, like, you're a rapper? You don't look like a rapper. And it's like, what, I don't look like Lil Wayne? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what they expect. They expect, you know, face tats, you know what I mean? Like, dreads, you know what I mean? Like, all that shit, you know, double cup, you know what I mean? Blunt, like, Lil Wayne. Like, it's like Lil Wayne is hip-hop. And everyone who's popping now is inspired by Wayne. And, like, not even just, like, kind of. Like, I feel like heavily. You know what I mean? Like, their image, their sound. Like, he did so much shit. And I feel like he did shit. And no matter what, if you think he did it well or not, he did shit that, like, made it easier for people to get away with shit. Like, I feel like people don't give him credit for the rock shit. There's so much rock incorporation in hip-hop now. And people don't want to give Wayne the credit because they didn't like the album. And I'm not saying they need to. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I almost feel like with him doing that, it made it easier for other artists, you know what I mean, to get away with doing rock shit or like taking some of the rock aesthetic. Like it just, and skateboarding, even though people hated on him, it's still kind of like paved the way. Like, and the auto tune and it's just like, and that's what's crazy. He got hated on for doing what everyone does now. And that's why he's a fucking legend.
Yeah,
bro.
and
that's why he's a fucking legend.
And skateboarding in particular, like obviously we're skateboarders, so like that's a big sphere for us.
And I know y'all was not fucking with Wayne at the time because it seemed insincere, or maybe you thought it was cool, but because I know a lot of skateboarders were pissed at the time.
Yeah, and what like. I don't remember like what my original, because I don't remember when I first heard about him skating. I don't know what my original opinions were, but
it was like 2010 or 2011.
Yeah, but I remember seeing he was on the 9 Club, which is I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a podcast with pro skaters and stuff, and he was on it on like I think episode like 30 something, like early in the podcast. Yeah. Lil Wayne was one of the fucking guests, and like he just kicked it with him and just talked skating and that's like cool. It made me realize that like Lil Wayne can do anything he wants in this world.
Yeah.
He has the capability to do anything he wants, and he's choosing to spend his nights fucking skating on his rooftop skate park and getting a mini pipe built in his studio.
That's the other thing that's crazy is everyone was like, Wayne, you're a negative influence on kids. You're always promoting lean and drugs and this crazy lifestyle. And he was like, all right, well, now I have a guitar and I skateboard. And they're like, no, you're a fucking poser. And it's like, well, what do you want him to be doing? Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what do you want him to make kids think is cool? Like, fucking lean and drugs or fucking guitars and skateboarding? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to do that at the time either, because I almost feel like he almost lost cool points for doing that shit. But then in the long run, gained them back. You know what I mean? Like, but at the time, it was like, dude, not cool, dude. Like, but then it was like, so, yeah, bro. That's why Wayne's a legend, bro. Because he really, it's almost like, I don't know. I know it's sacrilegious, but he's almost like the hip-hop Jesus, because, like, he took the fall for everyone. He was crucified for real, bro.
That's a good point.
Yeah, man. For real.
Yeah, people hated on him for a lot of shit over the years.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yes. They hated on him for shit that their favorite artist does now. So,
Dude.
For real.
Wheezy.
Ready for a break real quick?
Yeah, we should probably change that camera out.
Bet.
All right, we're going to be back. Just enjoy the ads in the meantime.
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing by reading this ad. And let me tell you guys a little bit about Anchor. So, like I said, it's a one-stop shop, distributing. You put your podcast on. It couldn't be easier to use. My brother and I, when we started this podcast, we're looking around for a website. Where do we get our podcast up and running? How do we get it? Literally those exact questions. How do we get it on iTunes? How do we get it on Spotify? And I was trying to do that stuff by myself. And that's when I started looking up. And there's other ones you can use like J-Pod and all that. But let me tell you, Anchor, nobody's going to do it as great as Anchor. And most of all, it's free. So that's what you always do, man. That's what you love, is Anchor being free. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. Once again, that's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Oh, we're back now? Oh, we're back. Okay,
Boom.
fuck. Well, we hope you enjoyed the ads. Yeah.
Buy that shit.
Yeah.
Whatever
Buy
it was.
Whatever it was.
Fucking give them your money. Put in your credit card number right now.
Let's see. So, I wanna ask about features. Like, are there people around here that you want to feature with, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say like I'm picky about features, cause bro, really no one hits me up. Druzy just hit me up to do a song. I'm gonna do a song with him. That's just gonna be fire. But really no one even really ever hits me up to do songs. But like there's a handful of people, like outside of Deadlink, you know what I mean? Like Deadlink is basically the people that I wanted to work with, so you know that's why they're in Deadlink. You know what I mean? But outside of that, there's a lot of people I want to work with, but I just want it to be the right song. Like I don't want to just make a song just to be like the so-and-so feature. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be like, I want to make a song and then I'm like, yo, you know who would be fire on this? You know, or just like, it just feels like, yes, this is the time to get them, you know?
I feel that.
Yeah. I'm waiting on SB Nunk to fucking finish his fucking verse. Where's the camera? Finish your fucking verse, SB. Yeah. But yeah, I want to work with Nate, man. That's coming. I want to work with Terry. I want to work with Sherelle, finally. I'm trying to work with everyone, bro. But just like the right time. Same with Ike. I'm trying to work. I already got a song that I think I'm going to get Ike on, but I don't even want. I shouldn't be talking about this.
Ike offline?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
But it's just all about timing. Like I don't like I said, I don't want to just force it. Like I just wanted to make sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got you. Anything you want to add on that?
So what usually, whenever, it's probably changed over the years, I'm guessing, but like whenever you're creating your music, what I've heard people using, like, you know, memos when they come up with lyrics, or like they come up with a melody in their head and then riff off of that. Like, what do you usually have, like kind of like a structured musical writing process, or is it all over the place?
I'd say it's mostly all over the place. It almost always starts with a freestyle. Like usually I freestyle like the first couple bars, or maybe whatever the hook's gonna be. You know, like just listen to the beat and just like, you know, you just say anything like, okay, that's fire. Yeah. And then from there, maybe I'll start writing the verse. But sometimes I'll just fucking go. I never like one take freestyle, but I've definitely done the punch in shit. I actually do the punch in shit a lot, but I write a lot of my shit. But it's so funny because if you like looked at my notes, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's just like, it's like half of the line and like misspelled and shit. And it's just like, yeah, it's just like, cause I'll just write it down real quick. Cause I don't know. I used to just spend so fucking long trying to write songs. And then I was like, dude, it makes them suck. It almost like, that's not always true. Cause like, it is good to take your time with certain songs, but like, and like I said, like waiting on the, you know, timing and stuff, you know, but it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes that sucks.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see, at least for me, if I was writing a song, I would just put almost like too much into it, and it'd be gay.
Exactly.
And, it'd be like
and
gay
you just overdo it, and you, cause like, ultimately, music's about a feeling. You know what I mean? And like, I just feel like when you just spend too much time thinking about it, sometimes like, it's just like you get away from like the feeling. You get to like, just too technical. To when people hear it, they're like, dude, I'm not. They're not thinking of it like you were thinking of it, you know. So they don't. Yeah. It doesn't resonate with them.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine if you're listening to a beat and like going off of that, I feel like it'd probably be easier to write, like, cause I don't know. I feel like if you were writing like a poem type deal, like if you're writing line after line, like matching up the rhymes and stuff like that, it might, once you then go to like match it to a beat, it might be harder to kind of like get the syllables right and shit.
For sure.
I don't know. I don't write music, but
for sure. But yo, that's the other crazy thing is like, I feel like if what you wrote is hard enough, you can find a way to make it work over the beat. Yeah.
That reminds me, because Eminem just dropped that album, the Music to Be Murdered By, and I like sometimes look up reviews that people give albums on YouTube and stuff just to see like what kind of, because like it deserves to be intelligently reviewed and like critiqued and stuff like that. And I heard someone in the song You Gonna Learn with Royce da 5'9" and all that, like his opening verse, they called it like that it sounded very lyrical miracle. Yeah. Would you agree with that? What is, I don't like.
I haven't checked it out.
Dude, you got, because that's another one that I would wonder your opinion on, because over my years of hip hop, I haven't been like the biggest Eminem stan or whatever, but since Kamikaze and then this one that he just dropped, I've just like really kind of like looked into him a little more and like just realized his genius, kind of like I did with Lil Wayne. But I thought the opening verse that Royce da 5'9" did in that song was like amazing, because it like wasn't only lyrically impressive, but like it told a dope story just in like 14 bars or something like that. But no, he like dismissed it and called it like sounded very lyrical miracle, and I was like, the fuck, like he had a dope rhyme scheme. I don't know what you mean by that.
I feel like with music is kind of like all art, and it kind of context matters. Yeah. You know, time and place. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might watch a movie and you're like, dude, this movie fucking sucks. And then like maybe a couple months later you rewatch and you're like, dude, this is a good movie. I was fucking tripping because you were just like, you weren't in the mood, or you didn't like get it. And same thing can happen with music. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you know, sometimes you're not in the mood to listen to lyrical miracle stuff, but then sometimes you do want to listen to something that's like, holy shit, like wow, that's impressive, technically impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like so.
Yeah. And I feel like, because I always say that when it comes to people like Cardi B or like people who kind of a lot of hip hop community dismiss them because it's like, oh, it's trash. I always say like there's room for it somewhere, whether it's in like a club or like whatever. There's room for it. It's just different type of music. Yeah. And when there's certain, like, that's why people like Tupac are so impressive in like the grand scheme of things, because he has music that is like a fucking poem, and then he has music that's like makes you want to fucking kill someone or like turn up. You know what I mean?
Do y'all listen? What genres of music do y'all listen to?
Mostly like metal and rock and stuff like that, but lately, like the past few years of my life, hip hop has been the biggest genre.
So rock, there's angry rock songs, there's sad rock songs, there's happy rock songs, there's party rock songs. You know what I mean? It's if it's truly a good art form, it can capture every human emotion. Same thing with hip hop, but everyone wants to be like, no, it can only be intelligent, or it can only be angry, or it can only be, you know. It's like,
Casey Parks kind of made that same point where what he said on the podcast was that he wished that hip hop had more like genres, like how rock music has genres, how there's like alternative and punk and grunge and like.
It does, man.
Yeah,
man. I mean, you gotta think of boom bap, you gotta think of crunk, you gotta think of drill, you gotta think of like there's tons. There's tons of subgenres of hip hop, I feel like, and even like what you're talking about, there's like conscious hip hop is like a subgenre. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely, there's tons of subgenres. I just feel like people don't embrace it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be completely honest. I think that's okay, because here's the interesting thing: people listen to someone now like a Trippie Redd, and I love the fact that it's not called some other weird shit. People want to be like, oh, we need a new name for this new stuff. It's not hip hop. And it's like, no, the fact that kids still listen to hip hop, that means at some point they're gonna, not everyone does a bunch of homework, but they're gonna check out other hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, that's what keeps it, because like people stop listening to like rock and they listen to, like you said, metal as its own genre, when it like kind of started as a subgenre, but punks and metalheads were like, fuck rock, we're not fucking with that shit. You know what I mean? We're doing our own thing. And like, but I feel like that's kind of why rock died, as like, and I don't want to say died because it's not like people don't make rock or like it doesn't exist or its energy doesn't exist throughout like all music, but you know, I just feel like that's why it's not the popular, the number one genre the way hip hop has been. Yeah. Because if we had changed the name in the 2000s to crunk or something, been like, oh, Lil Jon is not hip hop, don't call that hip hop, then hip hop would have been irrelevant for the past 20 years.
That's very true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But hip hop's not irrelevant, so I think that's still a beautiful thing.
And that's one of the beautiful things about the genre, is because I feel like with rock as like its own category, there's like, usually if you're a band, you're like a punk band or you're like an alternative band. And like you don't really mix it too much. But with hip hop, I feel like almost every artist, if you like make boom bap type music, you kind of like blend into other genres too, like boom bap and trap or like whatever. And you don't really see people just stay and like, I make this music and that's it. With hip hop, it's like almost every artist is crossing over.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's beautiful.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's something to be said about, you know, genres having their own culture and their own scene, and you know, that's beautiful. But I kind of like that with hip hop, it's just such a mixed bag that you're just bound to get, you know, like a melting pot of an audience. You know what I mean? Just it's just, you know, the scene is going to be all sorts of different people. It's not going to be as like strongly defined as like I feel like some other scenes are. Yeah. And I feel like that like looseness, because people want to put rules on it. And I mean, you know, I think people should be respectful to, you know, hip hop artists that came before them, but I think the loose rules in hip hop is what keeps it alive for sure. Yeah.
So how could you? Because I just like taking it to a more like local level, like with the scene around here, have you noticed like? I noticed kind of like sects being like formed with like different genres and stuff like that. And like, I like to see it crossover. Like if I see a lineup where there's like, obviously you need the lineup to be like consistent. Sure. You can't have like metal band and then 3 hip hop guys and then fucking singer songwriter or something like that. But like, I enjoy seeing the fan base at least, or like the creatives like mingling and all appreciating each other. You don't really, at least in from my perspective, I don't see a whole lot of like, oh, we're the metal people, so we, like, dismiss all that. Right. We're the hip hop people, so like, who cares about those bands? Like, you see a lot of like, is that something that you see like? Because I'm new to the scene and you've been in it, so is that something that is like more up and coming, or have you noticed that since the beginning?
There's been a lot of I feel like there's always been multi-genre shows for sure. Especially house shows. Some of my early shows were with bands where I was like probably the only rapper, you know what I mean? Like, and it was just like a house show, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's something we're interested in doing for sure, is like, you know, but once again, it has to make sense, because like you said, it can't just be like 3 rappers and then a metal band and then like a singer, and then like, it's just like, okay, where, you know, but if you can get it to where it makes sense and like each artist can pull a crowd and you know what I mean, like make it something awesome, like
Or at least supporting each other. Like I know
Yes.
it seems like a lot of bands around here support some of the hip hop dudes because they've like seen them perform and they're hyped on
Yeah.
them, or vice versa. And
yeah,
that's cool to see.
I feel like I get a lot of love from I don't I want to be careful because I don't want to say like metal or punk, but like like the rock people, or people in bands or people who appreciate that scene. So I love that. And I'm dude, anyone, I'm down to get on any fucking flyer, any show. Let's get it. Hit me up.
Hell yeah.
I don't give a damn.
So speaking.
One man punk band.
So speaking on subgenres, what do you think about like emo rap? I guess they're calling it. Like all the Trippie Reds and like Trevor Daniel.
I mean, I love Lil Peep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I love a lot of shit that probably falls under that category. So I guess I fuck with it.
Yeah.
But once again, I don't know. It's like there are subgenres, but once again, when I listen to hip hop, I just kind of like, I don't think of it for what its subgenre is really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not like, I'm listening to a trap song. Oh, I'm listening to a, whatever song. I'm just like, I'm listening to a song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I think that, because like Apple has playlists, iTunes has like their curated playlists.
It's helpful for that. Genres are helpful for that.
Yeah. And I think that, like, I think what they call emo rap, like I'm calling it that because it's called emo rap playlist and it has all these songs. I think that category has like drawn a lot more fans to the hip hop culture.
Yes.
Like, of like all different.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Hell yeah.
We can get into the ghost story pretty soon.
Okay. Yeah, we could. We will. Real quick too, what do you think about TikToks too? Because that's something that like.
Yo, shout out to Apollo Fresh, man. Y'all need to get Apollo Fresh on here for real.
We do, yeah.
Yeah. Apollo Fresh. I don't really know how TikTok works. I'm gonna be honest, but he had like he hit 1 billion something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that. I don't know shares, plays, clicks, views. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but he was going off like. He dropped this JoJo Pose song. It's like this anime song, and it makes people like hit a pose and fucking for TikTok. Genius, bro.
Yeah.
Genius, bro. He's a genius for that shit, bro. Like I don't know. I'm not really into TikTok, but hey, man, I'm starting to see why it is appealing. You know what I mean, to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, like I see why people use that as opposed to like Instagram or whatever, because like it kind of seems like whenever apps pop up at first, like why would you use that? But then like eventually you're like, oh, to do that. Okay.
As an artist standpoint too, like kind of.
Yeah, I need to get into it.
Fresh,
I'm getting my music on TikTok soon.
Yeah, I think that's smart too as an artist, just because
it's good to have it there in case someone else wants to make a viral fucking video of my shit. Yeah. Because I remember a lot of rappers got some traction on some tracks when people would just use like a 6-second Vine, you know what I mean, using their song. People would be like, what song is that? You know what I mean? And like certain stuff will blow up off that. So it's kind of like an extension of that.
That's true.
Social media is so crazy for branding nowadays.
Oh man, it's crazy. And Lil Nas X, I'm pretty sure got real popping off TikTok. Like Old Town Road was like big on TikTok. I feel like that's pretty much how it kind of like first started to gain traction.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. Yep. Fuck. Well.
Yeehaw.
We're reaching that point.
All right. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
There's always room for another episode.
Yeah, that's bad.
I feel like we haven't covered like much yet.
Yeah. Well, we can get into the ghost story.
Yeah. So I asked you before you came about that we asked our guests like a ghost story or crazy story or anything like that.
Yeah.
I would like to hear anything you have to share with us.
All right. So I don't. This is gonna sound weird. I don't believe in ghosts, per se. But by that I mean I don't have like a 100% like conviction that ghosts are real. You know what I mean? I'm not like, yes, I believe in ghosts. You know what I mean? But it's just like, but it was so weird because I was in my homeboy's crib and his grandfather had just passed away, right? And he lived in the house with them, right? and so did his grandmother. And they were telling me this story about how the grandmother had been like seeing him and hearing him and like his ghost, you know, and like the whole time, you know, I was just listening, being respectful. But then it just got to a certain point where they were like, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And I was like, No, not. I don't personally really. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to be, you know, completely respectful. You know what I mean? Like, but then after that, I was leaving his house, and I opened his door, right, and it like stopped, like someone was on the other side, right, like stopped, like I was just opening it, and I was like, oh, and like I peeked around, like thinking someone was there, right. There's no one there, and I looked back at him, and I laughed at first. I was like, you know, and I like looked at him, and he was like. He, like, looked scared, and I was like, bro, there's no way he could have even, like, pulled this off or something. And I was like, that was fucking so weird. It was just, like, so weird that it happened right after I was like, nah, I don't really believe in ghosts. And they were, like, telling me that they... Yeah, and, bro, like, I'm not even saying this to be funny. I ran to my car. I ran, dude. I ran until I was at my car. I was like, no. I was like, this is crazy. Like, and he was in an apartment complex too, so I was like running down the stairs. I was like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. Yeah, man. So shit, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's an unexplained thing, man. I'm not saying that was a ghost, but I'm saying that fucking happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things that makes you just like, what could have done that? You know what I mean?
And it was, in a weird way, kind of humbling to, like, certain supernatural stuff, because I don't feed into, like, barely any of that shit. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know really what the fuck's going on either. So, you know, it's just like, hey, man, I do know there's things I don't know. So, yeah. You know what I mean? It's like.
For sure. Yeah, we're reaching that point, but one thing I did want to talk about a little bit before we wrap it up is your take from your like years of experience and stuff like that, your take on the current scene around here as far as music and arts and stuff, like just kind of how you feel about things as of right now with the venues that we've got and the shows that are regularly popping up and stuff.
I think there's a lot of people out here trying to do something dope, and I've been getting the sense lately in the scene that it seems like some people have kind of like fallen back a little bit, but I feel like not for bad reasons. I feel like people are just like really trying to come with something crazy. Like I kind of get that sense that like everyone's kind of just like working on something, you know what I mean? And like that's exciting, but like I don't know, man. I feel like you said, I feel like there's a lot more just like a mix of people and a mix of scenes, and you know, the people who just want to support each other, and like I feel like people are more actively trying to make a scene. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the scene's always gonna be there regardless. You know, like even like if people didn't care, it would still be there. It might be shitty, but it would still be there. You know what I mean? But like there's a lot of people trying to like do something. So I think that's good.
Definitely. All right, and then you can look at this camera right here. If we always let the guests give some time to shout out, like, you know, you could shout out Deadlink Clique, brands
hey,
you got.
Hey, man, shout out Deadlink Clique, shout out OG Baby, shout out Hot Tub Johnny, shout out Ainsley, shout out DJ Dre, shout out Casa Spells, shout out Bushido 995, shout out Love Fubu, shout out Luke Warmdo. Yeah. Shout out City of Palms.
Hey. Do you have any, like, music that's being dropped or shows coming up that you want to plug to?
I don't have any. Yo, I don't want to fuck it up.
Okay.
I almost don't want to say it, but it's March 27th or 28th at Ollie's Pub. I'm performing. I don't know which one, but hey, there's a show both nights, so pull up both nights or either
Ollie's
night, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, there's that show. Nothing else I can announce right now. I'm doing this Flamingo Friday thing, so I'm going to be dropping a song every Friday in February. I don't know when this is dropping, so they might already be out. And yeah, man, I'm always working on something. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny when people are like, hey, are you working on something? It's like, dude, always. I'm literally like, not even trying to brag, but it's like there's always something in the works, like always. So yeah.
Sure, yeah. Anything else you want to get into before we wrap it?
I think we can wrap it.
Where can they find us?
We're good to know. All right, they can find us at City of Palms Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram,
and
boom.
Bathroom stalls.
And bathroom stalls in Nashville too. That's
Wow.
a fact. Basically any of them.
If you don't like the sound of like shit and farts and stuff, turn on a podcast. Crank us up, full volume.
Shitty palms.
Shitty a pound.
Oh,
All right,
shit.
this has been episode 48. Hit him with that outro, Soren.
Hey.